doing that.
I know, I'm sorry.
With our new business topic.
I'm very sorry.
The fun police.
I know. I'm always I'm sorry.
Not even a little bit.
Plus the help.
That's okay, just watch the clock.
I did read the two books they want to come on.
What's that?
Wait, plus the notice, it's really important. I know, it's cool.
For all the viewers out there,
I didn't check.
Is there a way that we can see if anyone's actually watching it? You don't have to check. I'm just curious if that's see if anyone actually watches.
Okay, now we're good.
Things they probably, like the
You
sign over here,
are.
a lot of people repeat.
All right. Well, it is now officially 7:00. Are we recording?
We're good.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Fantastic.
Nobody gets.
Okay. Shocking. All right. Well, we'll call this meeting to order. Ruth, would you take attendance, please?
Andy Hitchcock.
Here?
Mike Mulloy.
Here.
John Buda.
here,
Martin O'Toole.
Here.
Cindy Matejcik. Here.
With that out of the way, we've got just one agenda item today. Before we get to that, asked to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. Are there any changes, amendments, questions, so on and so forth?
Nope.
All right. I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October 19th.
I second. Is that okay if you want to?
I will abstain since I wasn't here,
Okay.
but I'll let the other four folks
Okay.
yeah.
Andy Hitchcock.
abstain.
Mike Mulloy.
Yes.
John Buda.
yes.
Martin O'Toole.
Yes.
Cindy Matejcik. Yes.
Fantastic. So, agenda item number 1 is BZA case number 22-09. Before we do that, we do need to swear in anybody who plans to give testimony. So, Bridey, would you please help us with that?
If anyone, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give tonight is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So, Mr. Kristensen, would you like to give a little bit of background on what you're trying to do? Just kind of help the board fill in any blanks, please.
Absolutely. So yeah, my name is Kristensen. I'm 51 on Paw Paw Lake. I brought my immediate neighbor, Perry Clark, which is 47. So Perry Clark and Kenny Clark will be immediately affected because it's basically the nearby neighbor. So what we're doing is we're replacing an existing shed. We bought the house many years ago, 24 years ago. There was an old wood shed. We took that out, put a metal shed in place, and now that metal shed is done. Now we're putting up a new shed. So that's really what we're doing. We put together a pictorial overview for your review. I have that on my computer if you want to see it. We also made drawings that indicate where the shed is. The shed is going on the same foundation, but it is longer. It's the same width, it's 12 foot wide, but it is longer. Other than that, it's really, the same thing. What we're asking for is a variance. The variance from our property line to Perry's property line is somewhere between 17 and 15 feet. Can't really say because you haven't really measured it. So we put in 15 feet just to be safe. So there is 2 feet per margin. So what we're asking for is a 5-foot variance from that 20-foot requirement. So that's really the project.
You can't really see the building that he had there before, but it was pretty beat up, so now he's got a nice building in there. It's no closer to my property than the other building was. And there's an access road between our properties, there's an easement that goes down to the picnic pavilion. And we've had trucks and stuff have to go down there. Plenty of room to do it. in that way. So I was just here to say that nearby neighbor, we're fine with it.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Good.
Could you tell us, you said, so it's going to be the same width, but it's a little bit longer. How much longer?
So it is 8 feet longer, and so that is basically an extension over the existing foundation. This is a concrete foundation,
Right.
and that would be on posts.
Okay. But it's not moving closer to the property line.
No, it stays on the same foundation and it stays in the same, building line that was there before.
Okay. You'll have opportunities to share more if you'd like. Anything else you'd like to share now?
I think that pretty much covers it. I think it's pretty well documented, in terms of, the records, so hopefully there's no problem there. Rich Harper has also joined us.
I'm the president of the homeowners association. Whatever we call it.
All right.
Too bad you couldn't find a lawyer.
I'll turn it over to the board. Any questions for the applicants about the project in front of us?
I can fill you in about the board. We have a homeowners association, and we submit our project to the homeowners association, and they vote on it. And I have a written approval of that, so if you want that for the record.
Just in the nick of time. Seems like hand delivered.
Almost forgot to come to the meeting. We voted on it, so we're back in November, so.
Mike, Mark, any questions?
What is the, I guess the building material you're using, what is the finish of the outside of the shed?
So it is, it's a wood material, but it has some kind of resin in it. It's the standard material that you buy, with the shed today. It's actually made in Midfield.
Okay.
By Buckeye Structures.
Okay.
He did tell me the material, I can't remember what it's called. So it has some kind of resin in it, so it's wood with a resin in it, and we chose a brown color to make it blend in better.
Huh.
The roof is brown as well. It's a metal roof.
Okay.
All right. Seeing as there are no questions for the applicant, rather straightforward, I would make a motion to approve a 5-foot variance to allow the proposed structure to be no closer than 15 feet to the property line. Are there? Thank you, Mike. Any questions on the motion? Okay. Ruth?
Andy Hitchcock,
Yes?
Mike Mulloy,
Yes.
John Buda,
Yes.
Martin O'Toole,
Yes.
Cindy Matejcik.
Yes.
Thank you for coming
That's
tonight.
pretty easy.
Very much so. We do not
You
need
don't need
that.
to cover that.
No.
Thanks,
I'll
everybody.
take it. Copy.
Thank you, everybody.
Eric, thanks, she liked it. Okay. She wants to know.
All right.
Well, that was straightforward.
That was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
That was a call.
Hey, take care. Hey, I'm gonna text you something.
What's that?
I was just thinking about you today.
We never got back to you on the steps. I was thinking about that.
Well, now, I've got a website up that I think you'll find super interesting. I'll text you the web address. My website is up now. And I bet you'll find it interesting. So I'll send you this. Okay, nice to see you, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Take care.
So we do have one other item on the agenda. It's with regards to the Open Meetings Act. Just making sure that as members, we're comfortable and familiar with the Open Meetings Act. Bridey was kind enough to put a summary together. Did everyone have a chance to get through that?
Yes. No.
You did not?
Nope.
Okay. Then,
But I'm feeling pretty agreeable.
well, it's why don't we'll move that to the next meeting. And if I could ask all board members to take a look at that and just familiarize yourselves with the Open Meetings Act. It's really the first couple pages of the document that Bridey sent us.
Cool.
And then with that, we'll adjourn. Oh, John?
I'd like to bring up a new business item.
Okay.
And that is how the board feels about going paperless. Not having this paper that is prepared for us and provided at each meeting. Personally, when I get the documents, if I feel I need something on paper, I print it. So I've already got it. So this is redundant for me. But I'm also thinking if we can reduce the amount of paper, ink, and time that somebody spends putting this together, then, I mean, if we need it, or if an individual needs it, then we'll continue, or whether we can possibly do it on request, like if one or two board members want it, and we go that way. Because I personally, I appreciate the effort that goes into it, but just thinking of a way that if we can save time or other things. That's why I figured I'd bring it up.
I tend to look at things on my iPad and I'm perfectly fine scrolling through electronically. I guess one question, and this Bridey for you, or Ruth, that might be for you. At some point, I have to sign certain things. So I imagine there's at least one hard copy that's required for record keeping.
Yes.
And if it's, I mean, I would love to hear everyone else's opinion on the matter, but if that's the minimum of what we do, it's fine with me.
I'm open to it. I mean, if we're allowed to have an iPad here or something to be able to scroll through it. I mean, I think what I find most useful is the different like plans and blueprints. And I can scroll through that on an iPad as well. So I think it's a great idea because I usually just leave these here or pitch them on the way out.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that, as long as folks are okay with it. In my case, it would be a little Chromebook laptop, as long as it's okay for me to have a Chromebook laptop in front of me.
And if things work well, it's always on the screen too.
Yeah,
Right, I forgot that as one of my points.
yeah, I do get value from the large prints sometimes, which is something I don't do at my house, and I do like to be able to look at a blueprint and see it, some degree of with scale to help me out. But as long as we can shoot it up there, if there's questions about it, I could certainly operate without the hard copy.
I'm fine with it. I mean, I printed the same things John said. If I want something to read further, like what you sent us, I did print it out because I wanted to highlight whatever I thought. But other than that, I don't really need to do.
Okay. Well,
Good suggestion.
nice suggestion, Josh.
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else for new business?
Do we need a motion?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, you're
Did I
good.
ask?
Yep.
Awesome.
Official.
I'm just curious if there's any update on the last two cases that we've heard between.
Yes. I know Dave's not here, but with respect to, sorry, what was the last one?
Wine Guy Barbecue and then also the sign across the street.
Oh,
What's up?
you're talking about the red
Red
barn.
barn.
Have you seen the sign?
Yes.
What do you think? No? Oh, okay. Well, it's also extremely dim, right, comparatively speaking, both.
To be honest, I haven't really looked at it when it's
Okay.
at night. I've seen it during the day.
Take a look, I would say. So, gosh, I'm trying to remember what was the last. So it's if I'm not mistaken, right, it's a red sign. There's no, it's not backlit on the barn part, correct? But the tenant spaces are backlit. And then I know that, okay, so the landscaping, there's now a landscaping plan just to buffer between the Red Barn property and the residential property next door. Parking has been revised. They received development approval, and I'm trying to think of what else was the ramp an issue. I feel like that was approved though by ABR, and I thought it was based on the building code. So
what was his process for going through that? Because when we left here, I thought that his option was to take it to county police court.
right. So what happened was he has 30 days to do that once the minutes are approved. Planning Commission allowed him to revise and resubmit plans, and he did that within the 30 days.
Great.
So he did not then file an appeal. And actually, he had an attorney as well, and I think the attorney was getting to the point where it was really close to like 28
Yeah.
29 days, whatever it was, but we had a planning commission meeting and we didn't have to appeal because he was there, Mr. Yurt had addressed a lot of their concerns, not just with the red barn.
Yeah.
But also that corner property, which is the dry insurance which really technically was not really before them. So I think that alleviated a lot of their concerns.
Good.
And then Hawaiian guys, they resubmitted their plans for the smoker, so it did not need an area variance. And the trailer, food truck, not food truck, is going to be allowed temporarily through the end of June as kind of like a temporary kitchen while their commercial kitchen is being kind of built out, if you will, and ready to go. Now, it will have to still, if I'm not mistaken, from Sean Davis, our fire prevention officer, it still needs the food truck inspection from the city of Cleveland and the health department. But they will not be, you don't go up to the window there at the food truck and get an order. You still are going, like, kind of, it's the cater, it's just the kitchen, if you will, for the catering business, which once the commercial kitchen is ready to go, that's where it will be operated from. But after June 30th, the trailer is gone. What else? I'm sorry. So they received the conditional use permit because we're treating it like a restaurant, and they received development approval, and then they did not need to get the variance.
And they have to go architecture review board for the smoke shack and the food truck.
Right.
But we don't have plans for any of that yet.
Okay.
No plans.
And I think Sean Davis, again, the fire prevention officer, was okay with the way that the smokestack was built. I think he had some, if you recall at the last BZA meeting, right, there was issues. We want to make sure the fire prevention officer is okay, whatever the fire code.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's been addressed. Good. So that's good.
A question, please, about the red barn.
Yeah.
So was it, and I'm asking this, I guess, more just as a citizen, was it decided that the ramp is going to stay as is?
Yes.
The ramp, he gets to keep the ramp. And do we know if he's making any progress on leasing or when leasing begins?
I do not.
I know that's not really your worry.
No, but I feel like at one of the meetings, he had like tenants of, certain commercial, doctors, and that's what, I don't know if that was just a dream or a wish, but I thought it was more, concrete, so, but I don't know, I do not know.
I mean, does he have like a certificate of occupancy to occupy it now?
That's a great question.
No, he's not done with the inside. I think they're nearing completion, maybe 2-3 months. And only then he wants to have tenants look at it.
Okay,
Yeah, he doesn't want anybody to see it before it's finished.
got it. There it is.
That's what our contractor told me.
No, that's helpful, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very helpful.
It's a matter of process. That is, so in the event that a person is doing a project here, Red Barn just being a handy example, and they do something that is other than what was approved, and then it exists, call it a ramp, and then it exists, right? And so is it normal recourse that if they do something that is not consistent with what was approved, but then it's there, and so now it's there, is it normal that would just be allowed to happen?
Not typically. There would be usually an enforcement action of some sort to say this was not approved. You have a certain amount of time to get it into compliance to what was approved. There was an issue, I think, though, with getting approval from the Architectural Review Board and basing it on the building code and what was approved here by Planning Commission for development review. So, yeah, I don't know. But again, there could have been an enforcement action, sure. We could have cited them and said, listen, this was not approved. And they would come back and say, well, ARB approved it, and then there would be an issue. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Planning Commission chair was very sympathetic to the fact that he had received Architectural Review Board review and approval based on the building code. And then, it was not necessarily in the same approval as what the Planning Commission approved back in 2016 or 17, whatever year it was. So that was actually a sticky issue. But no, I have definitely seen where someone has put something up, it has not been approved, and it has to be torn down.
I think we may have it, I don't know, is that shed gonna be here in January? The shed that was dropped in at the house one?
Oh, Oh, I don't know, sheds on residential properties
Yeah.
generally don't go to the architecture or to, no.
Here.
No, he doesn't need a variance.
But like
He's moving it.
somebody just put in a shed, wrong, no permission, wrong location. Basically, you tell them, hey, this is what it has to be.
Yeah, he's
And they
moving
do
it
that.
4 feet.
But yeah, the solicitor's right. Sometimes you say, you have to take it down. We've come, recently came real close to saying, hey, take it down and start over. But you can find a way usually to work through it.
Well, with no other new business, we'll adjourn the meeting and see you guys at some point in the new year.
Sounds good. All right, excellent. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy fun. Merry Christmas, yep.
Yes.
Okay. I always do that, don't I? I stop, yeah, I don't know how to turn it off.
I always like the
Do I go
solstice.
up to turn on? I always do this.
You just stop.
I stopped it, that's all I did. Okay.
I will take this one.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's right. It's this one down here.
Oh, thank you. It says all gone, sorry.
Yes.
I'm sitting at somewhere in January.
Happy birthday.
Short statement. There you go.
I'm learning.
All right, happy birthday. Thanks.
We appreciate it. All right.
Okay,
Enough of the spade.
sure, we can stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is there anybody left?